record on this computer. Perfect. Okay. So Angela and I were hoping to gather our thoughts a little bit before we started this, but then
that did not happen.
Technology issues, which hashtag typical.
So you know what I think is good about this is we're all in this together, you know? So it's kind of like we're all clearing together. We're all in it together. We didn't get to clear before entering the call, and that's okay. We're going to be just fine. We're in sisterhood.
Of our physical space right now. No, it's so Angela and I were talking yesterday, and Angela messaged me yesterday and was like, I was thinking, what if we opened it up for discussion first and then did our mastermind teaching and clearing based off of like what everyone is going through. So I thought that was a wonderful idea. I feel like that would better serve each and every one of you to kind of, if you feel comfortable or called to do so, just kind of share what you're experiencing, and then just kind of make it like an open discussion roundtable, and then from there go into the mastermind teaching and then do the clearing. So if everyone is kind of on the same page as that, I think that would be a beautiful start. I don't know about you, Angela, but I was thinking, since we each have people on here that we both don't know, if we wanted to introduce ourselves and kind of just give us a little background about each and every one of us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at this real quick. So I can see the participants here. I see everybody. I see, hi, Katie. Hi, Michelle, Kristen, and Patricia, all here. Is there any way for me to see everybody? Because I don't see anybody except for you, but maybe it's just because they're not talking. Is that how? I just want to make sure that I'm on the same page here, because
you have it on
I see you, but gosh, I want to see everybody.
If you go on like gallery view,
okay, let's see.
In the top corner, there should be something that says gallery view.
Angela,
yeah, yes.
You have to just swipe over.
Oh,
left.
There it is. There it is. That's so much better, because the whole purpose of this Zoom call is that we can be present with each other rather than like a Facebook Live where you're basically like looking at yourself, talking to other people. And I was just looking at myself again. I was like, no, I want to see your faces.
Angela, more than anyone, is like someone who thrives off of just like in-person community. She put like almost all of her business off of just like in-person and word of mouth. So I'll let Angela take it away, and I'll let you introduce yourself. I feel like that's
perfect. So, okay. So welcome, ladies. I'm so happy you're here. I love to meet new faces and just bring women together. That's my entire calling in the world, is to bring women together and empower them through community with connection to each other, because I just believe that we are better together than we are alone, as well as connecting women to their natural cycles and rhythms of life. So being whatever stage of life that you are in, whether or your period in general, the seasons, and how all of those things interconnect. And I teach women to connect to those natural rhythms and cycles through nature and through their bodies. So that's what I do. My business is Untamed Yogini, and I'm Angela Giacomelli. And I'm currently living in Italy. I moved here in June last year, and was going amazing until now. So living in Italy, and when I moved here, I shifted my business online. So my online business is fairly new. It's kind of a baby online because it's not even a year old yet, but learning and connecting and all that. And so I'm really happy to be here and meet Jess's community and just meet new faces, even though we're online. Because like Jess says, I really do. I'm more of a, like, I want to be with you kind of person. So having you guys here and seeing your faces and smiling is so cool. So I think that's about it. Oh, I guess also what I do inside of the connecting women to their natural rhythms and cycles, I do that. I didn't share that. I do that through yoga and feminine spiritual practices, which we'll do a little bit today when we do some energy clearing. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. Okay, Jess, take it away.
I love it. So what I think is full circle about us doing this right now and establishing a sense of community online is Angela and I actually met each other last year around this time when I was in Florida. And it was, goodness, like a few days before Easter, and we were having a full moon, and I had like one of probably the scariest experiences of my life the day of the full moon. And that whole day, I was so excited leading into that day because my mom said, "Oh my God, I do belly dancing with this girl, Angela. She used to she's a singer, like you guys would totally vibe." And she goes, "And she's hosting this class and you should totally go." So I was so excited because like the whole day I was like, I can't wait to go and take this yoga class and do like this full moon ceremony. And then like chaos happened, right? Like it was literally like the full moon was happening, and it was like happening in my life, like during, it was like the whole world was shifting during that day. And I remember thinking, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go. I was like, Mom, like I really just don't think I should go tonight. Like, and my mom was like, no, like you should, she was like, you should go, don't worry, everything's okay. And so I went to this ceremony with Angela, and it was one of the most incredible ceremonies I've ever experienced in my entire life. Now, it was also the first full moon like ceremony I've ever been to, but just the way that she embodies all like the divine feminine, like Mother Nature, and just her entire practice into what she does is just, it's incredible. And it was the best yoga class I've ever taken. And then we did like this full moon ceremony afterwards, and everything was just so aligned with like what I had experienced that day. And so I opened up and I shared in our sister circle what I had gone through that day. It was just in total alignment. And from there on out, Angela and I established like a really incredible friendship. Her son and my daughter and I met up with her at the beach, and then she told me, she was like, yeah, we're thinking about moving to Italy. And I was like, oh my gosh. So, and she was so used to building her business in person, and I build my business online. So we've kind of just established this like incredible friendship, and it's just blossomed into this incredible relationship ever since. So we've learned a ton from one another, and just you'll experience it when she does the meditation for us, but she really embodies what she practices, and it's truly beautiful. So that's just a little bit I wanted to say about Angela. So here we are, I'm in Florida again, like literally right around the same time, and we're all doing this together, which I think is just a full circle, really beautiful thing. So
where's everybody at right now? Can we just, where is everybody at right now? Can we go around and maybe do like quick introductions for that too once you're complete?
Yes, I would love to do that. We'll go through and kind of have everyone like introduce themselves too, I think, before we open it up. But yeah, so just a quick little snippet about me. So I'm Jesslyn, and I have built my business online for this is going on 6 years. I started my entrepreneurship with network marketing. So I partner with a health and wellness company. So I'm a full-time Beachbody coach. And then about 2 years ago, I was kind of going through, it was actually Saturn's return. And I didn't know what it was then, but I know what it is now. And I was going through this in my life, and I felt like my entire world was exploding and was like on the verge of like a breakdown. And I reached out and hired a mindset mentor who really taught me some spiritual practices, which got me more involved with getting connected with myself, getting connected with nature, practices of universal law, which then led me to launching an online mentorship. So my business is now called Next Level Magic, and I help other women create more magic, momentum, and just balance in their everyday life, which trickles into their businesses. And it has just been, one of the most incredible years of my life, being able to connect with women on a deeper level and being able to help them experience magic, because I know what I experienced. And now just having that connection and being able to have a community of women all over the world, and to see the miracles unfold in their life every day because of the work that really changed my life has been such a huge blessing. And just, my connectedness now with my spirituality has continued just to blossom into having stronger faith, and has really helped me become a better coach, mentor, mom, friend, especially in times like this. So we thrive off community, I think women especially, and just to know that I have a part in making other women feel more connected, or just creating a little bit more joy in their day is like the best thing ever. So that's a little bit about me. I guess I will open it up, and I will say whoever wants to go first and introduce themselves. Angela, what do we want to have them do? Do we want to have them do like name, where they're at?
Yeah, name, where you're at. You don't have to get into full detail, but just, how about, I got a good one. Okay. How about your name, where you're at, and we'll share roses and thorns. So if you want to say something like about yourself, maybe what you do, or what you're creating in the world, and then one thing you're challenged in right now, and one thing that you are really enjoying right now. Does that make sense? So that way we get the kind of full spectrum of who you are and how you're doing.
I love that. So my mom's dogs are outside, so I'm sorry you will probably hear them. But I will let. So who was the first person on? Was it Kristen, Michelle, or Katie, or Patricia? Let's see. I'm actually going to just go in order of what I see in the chat. So Michelle.
That's okay, yeah.
First.
Okay. So, pardon my dogs if they start barking. That's why I'm trying to calm them down, because we had people here. So I live in Illinois. I am actually one of Jess's one-on-one clients. So what do I do? Nothing right now. No.
I don't believe it.
My husband and I, we opened up a fitness facility this past August, and so we do personal training, group classes, just basically whatever a fitness facility does. And so so one of the things that we had done was we invested in a lot of, I guess, personal development training. I don't know whatever you want to call it. So we're learning how to build up our businesses also within, God, I don't even know how to explain it, but like a lot of personal development things that we're doing, tools. So I think for me, you want where I'm stuck at? Sorry.
No, yeah, it's okay. I just like what you're creating in the world, and where you're at, which you have just talked about, and then like roses and thorns. So something that's like really great in your life, and then something that's like a thorn in your life, like a challenge right now.
So I think through the last, I want to say since November, since I kind of started working with Jess, I think a lot of where I'm at now is I'm more open and focused and positive. Whereas I think prior to, it's like my mindset was very skeptical, I guess maybe that's the word to use. I don't know. I still have a little bit of that, because Jess and I were like just talking about manifesting. Like, I know that I can manifest certain things, but I think because they're not tangible, if that makes any sense, they're not things that I can physically touch or whatever, that I still get I'm skeptical on what my ability is. And then, so what I'm creating out there, what I'm trying to do is with our facility and, looking to go online, is just general well-being for our clients, overall. Obviously fitness is one. It's kind of, I hate saying this, but it's almost like what the Beachbody is doing, you know, except we do it more in person too. It's as far as, you know, health and fitness with nutrition, mindset, all of those things kind of incorporating. And one of the other things that we're getting into is hypnosis for our clients. So we're kind of encompassing tons of different avenues for just overall wellness for our clients. And so I guess my thorns is imposter syndrome.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm working through a lot of that. You know, I think that is like my biggest thing right now for me with all these different things that I'm learning. I think that is where I feel like, who am I to teach you how to do this?
Gotcha. All right. And your rose is I just want to try to hear you. Your rose is you're excited about doing all of these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean, I love our fitness facility. I love working with my husband. I mean, we really, you know, have such great synergy together. You know, he does his thing and I have my thing. But we really blend well with what our passions are. So, but he's on this level of confidence and doing things, and I'm kind of like trying to rise up to his level. You know, he's been doing health and fitness for over 20 years. And here I am, you know, I've been doing it probably with him for the last 5 years. So I think where his confidence is versus my confidence, you know, I'm trying to get up there with him.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing. Thank
Sure.
you.
Sorry it was long-winded, guys.
That's okay.
I love that. And little side note with what Michelle is doing, I love how she said, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like what Beachbody's doing. No, I feel like that's like incredible, right? Like, why not recreate like something that is very similar that's already so successful? But so her gym, which is already established in like a physical space, and now they've invested in all this personal development and self-help. They're going to implement a lot of those practices of mindset, spirituality, hypnosis into an online platform and create value adds for their people at the gym to invest in. So the people that go to the gym and are looking for extra accountability outside of the gym,
Very cool.
and hosting calls like that. So I think that's absolutely amazing, and it's so
very cool.
So Katie, I have you next on our participant sheet. So I will unmute you and I will let you take the floor.
Hi. All right. So I'm Katie. I am new to Beachbody coaching with Jess. I met her online a few years ago. And yeah, I tried the coaching thing with a couple of other people and wasn't successful, and just did a lot of thinking and realized, you know what, the first person who I ever was really excited about Beachbody was Jess. So why did I not join with Jess? And I've actually had a ton of success in the last month that I've been working with her. So it's just been awesome. Oh, Jess, I love you too. And let's see, I am in the Boise, Idaho area.
Boise.
Yeah, I am originally from Portland, moved to Boise, just had this weird calling that I needed to be here 13 years ago. And so I came. And let's see, a rose in my life. Well, I had twin babies 6 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah, well, okay, I have 10 kids altogether. 7 of them I birthed. But the twins are amazing babies. Like, seriously,
Wow.
having 7 babies myself, like the twins are just, they're so cute, and they're a blessing. And I was terrified when I found out I was having them, but they're just the biggest blessing. So.
And your thorn?
My thorn is that I have 10 kids.
Okay.
I mean, especially now that we're in quarantine, it's been really difficult.
Yes. I completely understand that. If you guys see me kind of going off, my I'll be honest right now, I don't want to interrupt you, but I do need to be transparent. My kid is not feeling well. He's running a fever. So my energy is a little bit split because I'm a little bit worried, and he's screaming in the house. So if you see me do this, or if I end up having to leave, please understand what's happening. I'm not trying to be rude in any way. Okay, so 10 kids, and you, yeah, it's really hard in quarantine. I understand. It's very difficult.
So I think the main thing is just saying, so I'm so sorry your son is sick. Do you need to go check on him?
If I go in, I won't be able to get out. So I'm going to let his dad take care of it.
Fair enough. I totally get it.
Yeah.
So we maybe want to do the meditation first, and then I can open it up for the mastermind afterwards in case you have to go. Then I can finish out with the mastermind. Do we want to do that maybe?
Yeah, maybe we should. You know, just because we're in quarantine, it kind of shifts everything up. It stirs it all up, and you kind of like the same rules just don't apply to business or to life or anything like that. So if we weren't in quarantine, I would not have this issue. So I apologize. Okay, let's move forward to the energy clearing. Is everybody doing okay so far? Just nod. I'm looking at you all. Yeah. Okay. So I've already lit a candle, and I have some crystals here and some rosemary burning. I want you to go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Close the eyes. We're gonna take a deep breath in. We're gonna exhale, release. Anything that's weighing heavy on your shoulders, anything that's weighing heavy on your mind, anything that's weighing heavy on your heart or your emotions, I want them to be in the center of I want you to bring them forward into your mind's eye. I want you to feel it. I want you to see it. Take a deep breath in and exhale. I want you to soften inside of it with everything that is. It's so important for us to acknowledge and feel our emotions during our challenges, whatever they are, and not to stuff anything down or put anything on top of it, but rather feel it, let it burn. Breathe in, and as you exhale, feel it soften, just surrendering yourself a bit further into it. We can't clear anything if it's not put forth. So you have to drudge it all up, put it there out in front of you. Look at it right in the eye, in your mind's eye. Breathe in deeply through the nose. Exhale out the mouth with a gentle sigh. With this sigh, we're not letting it go. We're being with it. Just be with it. In all its glorious uncomfortability. Breathe in and exhale. Again, inhale and exhale, push it out. Just so that you create a little bit of space in the body, a little bit more relaxed sensation while you're holding it up. Good. Go ahead and open the eyes. We're going to do a breathing exercise that is going to clear it. So we've brought everything to the front of our mind, everything that we're feeling. And we're going to take this and we're going to shoot it out. So as we inhale, we're going to pull it all in. We're going to hug all of the uncomfortability, everything that's weighing heavy on you. You're going to hold it in. And then as you exhale, you shoot it out the mouth and through your fingertips. Inhale. Shoot it out. Inhale. And it's going to go faster and faster until it's in and out the mouth. Let it out. Faster. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Close the eyes and pause. Feel the heart beat. Feel the energy shift, move through you. Observe if you feel a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more calm. Open the eyes. We're going to repeat that process. Inhale, pull it in. Exhale, let it go. And I really want you to push it out. If you've got any kind of rage, discomfort, whatever's coming through, I want you to really let it go. Inhale. Continue on. You're letting go of your grief, your anger, your confusion, your doubts, your worries. Let it go. Pull it in, let it go. Pull it in, let it go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Close the eyes. Let that new energy move through you. Observe how you feel now, second time around. Observe whatever came up and acknowledge it. This is a clearing that you can do anytime, and it is a perfect way to shift your energy very, very quickly. I want you now to go ahead and bring an intention, one word that you would like to cultivate, not a goal, but an intention. So if you want more family time, then maybe the word is connection or love or intimacy, right? You want to find the intention, not the goal. The intention umbrellas your goal. So find that intention that your heart is calling for. Bring it into the foreground of your mind. Breathe it in and exhale it out into the space. And release. All right. How are you all feeling?
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Good.
I needed some breathing.
Yeah. And breath work is one of the quickest ways that you can shift your energy. So I recommend it. But as we're moving through this very challenging time, we're kind of all birthing ourselves into something new. So it's uncomfortable, it's painful, it's this roller coaster ride of emotions, right? We have all of our own personal things that we're already dealing with our family, friends, community, work. And then we have this world issue happening that goes on top of all of that. There are so many different variations of challenges that are happening in the world, but we're all in it together. And so I think that it's very important, as we did in this exercise, to really acknowledge what you're feeling. No matter how large or small you think it is. Because, you know, maybe one person is grieving not going to the concert that they bought tickets for. And then the other person is grieving the fact that they have no food on their table, right? Two complete opposite spectrums. But the feeling for people is there's still grief. All of it is relevant. Everything that you feel, everything that you're going through is relevant. And I want you to feel heard, and I want you to feel seen, and know that everything that you're feeling and going through is is okay, and it's natural and it's normal. And in order for us to get through to the other side, it's extremely important for us to acknowledge that, to be with it, to feel it. It's not about saying, I'm really, really sad and my heart's really heavy, but I'm going to put a smile on my face and pretend it's all okay because that's how I want to feel. Rather than just trying to cover it up with a smile, we have to feel it first. Okay? We have to feel it, and then we can choose more powerfully rather than trying to stuff it down. Does that make sense? Okay. So the whole purpose of this energy clearing meditation exercise was to do just that. And so I want to continue to encourage you to feel whatever is coming up for you at any time, not just during quarantine, but to actually pay attention to your emotions and your emotional, energetic well-being, because it's an indication, just like if you were to have a pain in your shoulder, okay? The pain in your shoulder goes, ow, that really hurts. It hurts when I do this, and it hurts if I do a handstand. So obviously, right, you're not gonna like fucking do a handstand because it hurts, right? So our emotional well-being is the same way. The pain is indicating, hey, I need you to pay attention to me. I need you to nurture me. I need some healing. So when we're feeling emotional distraught or energetic distraught, it's the same thing. It's just a pain that's suffocated. I hear ya. It's something to pay attention to because it's saying, hey, pay attention to me, nurture me, heal me. You have to pay attention in order to heal. You have to listen in order to heal. You can't just keep pushing through, because ultimately, if I had a pain in my shoulder and I said, well, screw it, I know how to do a handstand and I'm going to do it anyway, most likely I'm going to like really injure my shoulder. And the same thing's going to happen energetically and emotionally. So it's important for us to continue to check in, acknowledge, clear, and set intention. So are there any questions or feelings that are coming up? I'm feeling claustrophobic. Yeah.
I had everyone comment in the chat just because I figured this would be perfect while you're
Love that.
still here. So let me enlarge the chat. Hold on one second. So yes, so Martha said that I had everyone comment what they're going through right now in the pandemic, and Martha said cautious anxiety. Kristen said that she feels suffocated. Patricia says heaviness and anxiety. Michelle says overwhelm, and then Katie said claustrophobic, which I figured kind of while you're still able to talk, maybe having you give your perspective on all of those things, because I know what I'm going to bring to the table with those responses, but I will let you go first.
Yeah. I mean, basically the same thing that I was saying is my perspective on it is it's okay to feel that way, and give yourself permission to feel however you're feeling. You're not wrong for feeling claustrophobic. There's nothing bad with feeling, any of the things that are coming up for you. It's perfectly natural. And it's basically what I just said, like really let yourself feel it. Don't let it take you over. Rather, give yourself time, give yourself some space to be with it. Meditation is a great way to do it. Some solitude is a great way to do it. If you can, I know it's difficult with children. God, it's difficult with one child, let alone 10. So I feel you, sister. But any kind of solitude moment that you can take to be alone, to be quiet, to breathe consciously, and things that can clear you out. So breath work, journaling, crying, for God's sake. If you need to cry. It's actually a clearing. Like, it really is a clearing. It's an energetic clearing, and we're meant to do it.
The longer that we hold on to those emotions and try to suppress them down, like I'm someone where my entire life, I think that human conditioning kind of does this to us is, you know, like we hear things like you have to be strong, or
Right.
it kind of give us this perception of we can't let people see us be weak because we take on crying or having a heightened emotion or processing those emotions makes us weak. And it took me a long time to understand that actually processing those emotions and being comfortable with those emotions being seen and releasing them is actually a sign of great strength. So, you know, allowing yourself to cry if you have to cry, because what happens is so often we hold on to those emotions, and the longer we hold on to them, the longer they're going to stay within us. So once we just release them, I read something in an article that when we actually release our emotions, we process through them like 90%. So, you know, when we're angry, you know, finding a healthy way to release the anger, like something I do is I'll scream into a pillow or I'll punch a pillow. One of the things that I would do, if I would drop my daughter off at a babysitter, if I was having like a really bad day, I would just drive like down like one of my like dirt roads and just like blast the music and just scream, like just to like get that anger out in like a healthy way, because sometimes we have all of this angst and anxiety, fear, and like whatever else has happened in our life leading up to that moment, but processing that out in a way that's healthy, because anger is not a bad thing either. I think that we take on this belief that anger is a bad thing. Anger is an emotion for a reason. There's nothing wrong with being angry, and we take it on as if I'm angry, there's something wrong with me, or being angry is bad. There's nothing bad about it.
I think a lot of that is social conditioning too for women. From a very young age, we're taught to be nice. We're taught to be polite. We're taught to make sure that we're minding everybody else. Be a good little girl. Make sure you're polite. Anger is unattractive. So, you know, a lot of it's social conditioning too that we kind of have to break free from. There's sacred rage in every woman that is passed down from lineage to lineage. Like, not a single woman on this planet doesn't have rage inside of her, because that rage has been suppressed for, I mean, thousands of years. So it's really healthy and sacred for you to like let it out. I love that you just like let it out screaming down I've done that before too.
It's kind of like that breathing exercise. It's just like all of a sudden afterwards you just feel lighter, which is like that's the point of like shifting energy. And something I did want to, it ties into what we were talking about. You were talking about if you have a pain in your shoulder, and kind of bringing it full circle with the emotions. You know, imagine if you had like, and we use rose and thorn in here, you know, what was your rose? What is your thorn? A great analogy that I use frequently is, you know, what if I had a thorn in my shoulder? So this is so aligned, Angela, because I use this analogy sometimes. You know, we could bandage up the thorn. We could put a box around the thorn, you know, and we could continue to go on with our lives. But every time we walk into a room or we're around people, we're always going to be cognizant that there's a thorn in our shoulder, right? So we're going to condition our response, or we're going to tailor our movement around the thorn that's in our arm, because we think that it's easier just to bandage it up, just to put a Band-Aid on it, just to cover it up. That might not, while that might be something that seems less painful in the time, right? It seems like, oh yeah, I'll just bandage it up because it's less painful than pulling it out. What the best thing to do is actually pull the thorn out. And while we're going to feel significantly more pain in that moment, it allows us to feel more quickly so that we can go through life on a much easier level. And so that kind of ties into the emotion, you know, where if we allow ourselves to hold on to those emotions that aren't serving us, we're going to continue just to slap a Band-Aid on it, and it's not going to serve us. Where if we just let those emotions process, pull the thorn out, it's going to feel really painful in that moment, but once we shift through it, it's going to seem so much better going forward. Does that make sense to everyone? Did I explain that well?
Yeah, no, it's perfect. That's a perfect analogy. If because we didn't get around to the talking part, maybe if you guys just put like your rose and thorn in the comments, that way everybody gets that out, because I want to make sure that you were feeling honored in that and heard.
Absolutely. While you guys are typing those, Angela, you touched on this too, and I jotted it down in my notes section. You know, there's nothing wrong with what we're feeling. I actually typed up an email. I'm sending it out to my email list next week. But it was so humans, we're multidimensional. Whether you do a lot with quantum physics or not, we're all energy, and we're all made up of tiny little particles that are multidimensional, that travel faster than the speed of light, that can be in multiple places at one time. So we're all scientifically multidimensional. And so many things that I've seen on social media lately are things like, oh my, you're so gross if you're a girl and you're worried about your hair and nails during a time like this. Or, people are telling us how we should feel. We're wrong if we want to focus on, maybe, doing like a home manicure set, or taking care of ourselves, or we're wrong if we're panicking, or we're wrong if we're doing X, Y, and Z. And humans are multidimensional. And our entire lives, we've been able to be happy while simultaneously feeling sad. We've been able to feel anger while simultaneously feeling excited. We've been able to process grief and sadness while looking forward to the next moment in our life. We are capable of experiencing so many emotions at the same time, and it's okay to be scared and also like want to get your nails done and be excited for when the nail salon opens again, right? It's okay to mourn the loss of, a wedding or an event being canceled, but still showing up every single day to be positive and happy in the best way that you can. So however you're processing this and getting through this, there's nothing wrong with it. I kind of got ripped apart. This is kind of funny. So there's a YouTube channel that has like 300,000 subscribers. In kind of before the whole coronavirus pandemic got to where it is now, I did an Instagram story on the energy of positivity, and how the energy behind panic is a completely different energy than behind precaution, right? So if we're washing our hands in the energy of, oh my God, if I don't wash my hands, I'm going to die, that's a completely different energy than I'm washing my hands because I'm doing my part. Do you see how the energy behind that action is different, right? And so I kind of got ripped apart because I was talking about how the energy of problem and solution, they don't exist on the same plane. So energetically, I choose to live in the vibration of solution, even though physically, in our physical world, what we're actually experiencing right now, it's on the vibration of problem, right? But choosing to live in the vibration of solution, or in the energy of what I call the energy of precaution and not the energy of panic, I kind of got ripped apart for it. But energetically, when we actually think about it, what we're experiencing is the feelings of the collective. It's the feelings of the world around us. And right now, because so many people are living in the energy of panic, which rightfully so, given what their human experience is, we're actually prolonging the event physically. So energetically, when I talk about living on the energy of solution, problem and solution, they exist at the same time. So once a problem is born, a solution is born at the same time. It's universal law. So the moment a problem comes into your existence, the moment that a problem comes into the world's existence, a solution is born at the same time. The issue is that because we're human, we only can take on what we physically can know, think, touch, believe to be true. So we often choose to live on the energy of problem. But when we shift our energy into being open and working on things like our mindset, processing the feelings that we're feeling in a healthy way, we actually elevate into the plane or the vibration of solution, and we get closer to that vibration of solution. So when we're going through this process, when we're going through feeling what we're feeling, I'm not saying when you're scared, you're wrong for feeling scared. I'm not saying that when you're feeling panic, you're wrong for feeling panic. What I'm saying is acknowledge those emotions, process them, and then do your best to find some sort of way to shift that energy into no longer being in the vibration of panic, but to being in the vibration of solution. Does that make sense? Like, does that because I never want it to come across as like I don't take this seriously, or that I don't think that what we're experiencing is real. But I want it to come across in a way where there is a solution born already. We're just, all of us as a collective, we haven't gotten there yet. But there is a solution out there. So that's kind of what I wanted to go on with that. I'm going to read everyone's things and then I'll kind of go off of those. So I know that let me go up, up, up. Why is this not letting me scroll up? Hold on. To everyone chat. Close. And then I gotta open up the chat. I'm sorry. Okay, so all right, so we went through kind of everyone's feelings. So the heaviness, the anxiety, the feelings of overwhelm, processing those out. We covered that. So then, Martha, you should be claustrophobic unless you're living in a mansion. Katie, I wanted just to touch on that too. I think moms especially, or dads, any sort of parent, I think that no matter what, right now, so many of us are feeling claustrophobic because moms by nature, and I think a lot of men are feeling claustrophobic just in a different nature because women, so if we go back to like ancestral ties, so I'm just gonna go here. So there's this thing called ancestral ties, and this is basically like when you were conceived, you took on the energy or the genetic makeup of your parents, right? But they have taken on the energy or the genetic makeup of their ancestors, right? So we have a makeup of thousands and thousands of years, and the experiences that those ancestors went to they've made up a part of our subconscious. So even though 1,000 years ago, we didn't physically experience what they went through, their energy that they experienced at that time has transmitted lineage, generation into us holding on to some sort of energy that they experienced thousands of years ago. So it's called ancestral ties. So men are hunter-gatherers, right? So when we have things like fight or flight mode, it kicks in that, it is a life or death situation. So because they were nomads, or because like they literally were hunter-gatherers, if their body, if they were in danger, their body would feel that danger. And now, I mean, obviously, like there's, like very few times in our lives where we might actually be in real physical danger, right? But when we are experiencing what everyone else is taking on as real physical danger right now, we go into fight or flight. And I think that's what a lot of men are experiencing right now, is because they're taking on that panic or that anxiety of, I'm the provider, I'm the hunter-gatherer, now I can't go to work, or now when I do go to work, I'm potentially endangering my family by bringing something into the home. They go into fight or flight mode, which often causes constriction, right? Like when we're in fight or flight mode, all we're focusing on is what's happening right there. It kind of feels like time slows down, but everything's going fast at the same time, right? So we do that on like a bigger level. So I think that men are experiencing that in a different way. So a lot of times women will take that on as like, men, they have like a one thought mind or one track mind. It's just because that's the way that they're conditioned or programmed to exist. So right now more than ever, they're probably feeling that fight or flight on a different level than what they're used to. Whereas women, going back in time, we're nurturers, we're providers. So when we see people that we love going through hard times, it is our natural inclination to want to take care of them, to want to be a giver. And now when so many of us, caregivers, nurses, people on the front lines, those things are starting to cause a more increase of danger at home, right? I know a lot of nurses where it's like they go to work every single day and then they're worried about, what am I bringing back home? Or, the moms that are now, they're home full time with their little ones. And because we've established that energetic boundary of mom is the nurturer, mom is the caregiver, even if mommy and daddy are at home together, who do they always go to? Who do the children always go to? They go to mommy. Who do they whine to? They go to mommy. Like, so no matter what, and then we take it out on our significant other because we're like, well, goodness, you're home, you're not helping, right? So I think that's just an energetic ancestral tie that's been passed down years and years, thousands and thousands of years, that we're now taking on and we're experiencing in real time. Is there an actual physical threat right now in this moment? No. And that's where kind of the anxiety stems in, is, the fear comes in is right now in this moment. The only moment that is real in our lifetime is right now, and right now, and right now and right now. And where the fear and the anxiety and the panic come in is, one, worrying about the past, right? So that's how the energetic ancestral ties come into play. But two, worrying about the future. So right now, in this physical moment, we're all healthy. We're all cared for. We're all safe. We don't have a physical threat, right? So in this moment, we're all safe. And I think that why having a meditative practice or finding time to get some sort of movement in or just be within is so important during this time, because it's that one time in the day where you get to focus on you and just be in the moment and not worry about what happened before or what's going to happen, but just be within, because that is how we continue to build a concrete mindset. That's how we continue to elevate our vibration and to put more of that precautionary energy out into the universe versus the panic energy. So Katie, I feel like you're totally justified. I mean, everyone's justified in for anything that they're feeling right now, but I think everyone is feeling the claustrophobia to the max. So I have, okay, so spending time. Okay, so Kelly says, spending time with my daughter is the rose. Oh, I love that. Thorn is feeling unheard and holding on to emotions. I think that's a really big thing is, you know, and we kind of touched on this in the beginning, is that feeling of, you know, these are my emotions. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm holding on to. But we're afraid to speak them because if we speak them out loud, we have this fear of criticism, especially during times like this. It's kind of like I've noticed that this pandemic has kind of brought out a lot of similar traits to an election season, where it's like no matter what you post, it's going to get some sort of feedback. And I think that we're afraid to voice our opinion because we're afraid of, you know, offending someone else or what other people might think or hurting someone else's feelings, or them maybe not understanding where we're coming from. And I think that, you know, the advice that I could give you, and this is something that I tell a lot of my clients during this time is, you know, we are never guaranteed, and this is proof what we're going through right now, is that we're never guaranteed that tomorrow is going to look the same as today. We're never guaranteed that our tomorrow is going to come. You know, and I say this to a lot of people in terms of, because I speak more from an entrepreneur background when I talk energetics. But, you know, I talk to so many people on a daily basis that are afraid to launch their business. They're afraid to chase their dreams. They're afraid to take the trips. They're afraid to do whatever it is that they've wanted to do and they've put off for so long. And a lot of it is people are afraid to be seen. People are afraid to be themselves because they're afraid that if they're themselves, they're going to lose some important people in their lives, or they're going to hurt someone's feelings, or, you know, they're going to fail and people are going to see that they fail. But if I could give you one piece of advice, it's that choose in moments like this to be unapologetically you. Because we are never guaranteed tomorrow. We are never guaranteed that tomorrow is going to look like today. And why do we want to live another moment on this earth being anything less than what God created us to be? God created us to have those opinions, to have those thoughts, to have those feelings, to have those visions for a reason. And when we hold those thoughts or actions or emotions back, or those ideas back, or we hold those dreams back, or we hold doing whatever it is that we wanted to do back, the only person that we're hurting is ourselves and God. And what I learned during times like this is you could make the most perfectly crafted post. You could say the most perfectly crafted thing where, you know, you're making sure that everyone is, you know, I'm going to say this way and then justify it with this little disclaimer. And I'm going to say this way and justify it with this disclaimer. People are still going to be pissed off about it. There's still going to be people that are angry, and there's also going to be people that are so happy. And the people that are happy from what you post or what you share, what you create or what you do or what you dream, those are your people. So if anything, choose this time right now just to decide that I'm going to continue to show up unapologetically me as who God created me to be, because that's what he created me to do on this earth. And if I'm not guaranteed tomorrow, then I'm going to live today the best way that I can. So that's kind of how I process that. And I hope that was helpful. And you can continue to elaborate if you feel called to do so on what you're feeling unheard about. But that just was kind of coming through for me. So I have Michelle, so Rose, our fitness facility, helping our clients. Thorn, imposter syndrome. Yes, and I think I kind of just covered imposter syndrome right now in terms of, God, if anyone is qualified to give you a vision, there's no person, and this is a cliche that I always say, is that there is no person, teacher, professor, X, Y, and Z certifier on the planet that certifies you more than God. Because God gave you that vision, because God gave you that idea, it is your conviction to carry it out. There's no professor that's more qualified than God. There's not a single person on this planet, universe, realm, dimension, whatever you want to call it. So just continuing to affirm that this vision is of the divine. This vision is of a higher power. This vision is of God, Jesus, angels, light, universe, whatever you believe in. To stay grounded and just continue to help you pursue what it is that you're pursuing. So Kristen says, Thorn, struggle of staying consistent and honoring myself and my body. Rose, loving relationship with my quarantine buddy, my fiance. Oh, I love it. So cute. I love it because, so Kristen is getting married in November. And cutest thing ever, I was invited to her wedding, but I'm actually in a wedding on the exact same day with one of my other clients and coaches. But I'm like, I wish that like my multi-dimensionalness could like exist for like one day on a physical realm, so that I could be in both places at once. That'd be wonderful. So I think, Kristen, everyone I think is going through this. And I've been saying this in a way where it's like, it's funny because it's been repeated back to me and shown to me in multiple ways, is the world was literally shifted on its axis because the world is energy and because we're the energy that makes up the world. And I know that we like to think that Mother Nature and us are separate. We are not. We are all interconnected. So if we were to have like superpowers, we would see that we're all connected energetically by like strings of energy. So like, that's why grounding, earthing, and things like that are so important. Just to go out in your backyard or go out in your front yard and just put your feet on the ground every single day if you're able to go outside. To ground you. You can even do it inside. You can even put your feet on the ground and ground yourself inside. Is so important because we are all interconnected. But I think, as we shifted as a society, the earth also shifted as a society. So we're all in this massive shift right now where people who are used to going to work are now working from home, and people who are used to working from home, I know I've experienced this where it's like, I love working from home. I always have. I'm a total homebody, but I'm also a total extrovert, and I like to do things on my own time. And I also pay for childcare normally. So it's like the people that are used to being home, now it's like that we're forced to be at home. It's kind of like, when you go on a diet, it's like you could eat healthy by choice whenever you want, but then all of a sudden you go on a diet and you tell yourself, I can't have this, which that's a mindset too. All of a sudden we want it more. So it's like all the people that are used to working from home or being home, all of a sudden now we're like, I thought I was gonna love this, but like I feel different. And that's totally normal because the world was literally shifted. So as we all shifted, the world shifted with us. So there's so many people that are experiencing that right now. Like I've been, my boot campers and we've been making jokes about quarantine snacks. Like instead of like following our containers to a T, we're like substituting a whole bottle of wine as like a yellow container, a whole bottle of wine as a purple container, just to create some sort of sense of normalcy around what we're experiencing is real. Everything has shifted, but how can we make this work in our favor? How can we utilize this energy or this shift to really help us be grounded and to teach us what we're meant to learn? I think that's a big thing too, is that there's a lesson to be learned in all of this on a personal level. From a global level, yes, absolutely. Angela just hopped back on. I was just going to share your story about keeping the A. But I'll actually, if you're able to, I'll let you share the story about.
Yeah. Yes. First of all, let me apologize. My phone went kaput as I was like trying to see what was happening with my child, and we were in full meltdown mode, and we're good now. So I came back, and so please forgive me. I'm doing my best, y'all. I'm in quarantine too.
This is perfect for this just shows what we're all going through. So it's totally perfect.
Yes, I said it. We're all in this together. Like, this is not going to be perfect. Yeah. So, okay. So, my whole take on this is that this is a global healing and transformative time. That to me is my light. because transformation in general is uncomfortable. It's painful. If you think about it, is if you think like birth, for instance, like if you give birth, it's scary, it's messy, it's bloody, it's painful, right? But then on the exact same coin, you just flip that, the same thing. It is beautiful. It is euphoric. It is incredible. It is the most loving, powerful experience that you could have, right? So the two are not separate. Those two ideas that like pain is separate from euphoria. Like they go, the dark and the light coexist together. And so, as far as this being a transformative time, it's uncomfortable, it's painful, it's maddening, it's a crazy time. But on the flip side, it's an opportunity for us to connect with ourselves. It's an opportunity for us to connect with our loved ones, to really see what is the absolute most valuable things in your life. So this is a great time for you to kind of reflect and see, because I mean, we're kind of seeing like what is actually necessary, right? Because we don't have anything else available to us aside from necessities. So then we can look and shift at that into an energetic level, and within our own personal lives. And right now the world is healing. Like, it's making its point right now. It does not need us here. It does not need us here. This world is going to heal without us, and it's doing it currently. Right now, if you go to Venice, you can see pictures. There are dolphins in the canals. There are fish. There are swans and birds. Like, that never happens. The water is so polluted, and now it's clear. You can see to the bottom. The ozone is starting to heal. The actual ozone is right. It's literally closing. Animals are reclaiming territory that we took from them. Like, the world is healing itself. Smog is cleared. Birds, you can hear birds. You can see stars in China, whereas it was just smog before. It's incredible. So one, the earth doesn't need us. We need the earth. And at the end of this, a lot of people keep saying, I want it to go, when things go back to normal. I personally don't want it to go back to normal. I think our normal was killing us slowly. Our normal was feeling disconnected from everybody on the planet. Our normal was killing the planet, which was killing us slowly. And when we come out of this, what Jessica was saying, telling her, it's like, have you guys ever seen the movie I don't think it was called Gangster's Paradise, but the song in the 90s, The Gangster's Paradise? And it was from a movie. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like with Michelle Pfeiffer, I think. She was a teacher and she went into this like impoverished school. Love that movie. What was it called? I don't remember. And she's like teaching these kids who,
I think it was Gangster's Paradise, actually.
maybe it was Gangster's Paradise. And she's teaching these kids who probably wouldn't have a chance in hell outside of this to like go to college or anything. And, they're really troubled. And she comes in and they're not taking her seriously at all. And she says, you know what, right now, you all have an A. Every one of you has an A. Your job
That was Dangerous Minds. Sorry.
Dangerous
I had to look it up.
If you haven't seen the movie, it's really good. It's very dated at this point, but she said, you all have an A, and your job is to keep that A. So throughout school, that's all you got to do. You just got to keep the A. Right now, with our current situation, Mama Earth has sent us back. She said, go to your rooms. Go to your rooms. Take a time out. Reconnect to yourselves. Heal yourselves. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to heal myself. And when we come out of this, maybe we won't get an A, but let's hope that we get an A. Mama Earth gives us an A. That's our job. Our job is to keep that A. All the work that we do inside our homes now, inside of ourselves, with the people that we love, even with the earth. I mean, I know for myself, one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm focusing on my garden. I'm reconnecting to the earth, and God, getting outside in the sun right now, people are like, that's like $1 million, you know? You're like, shit, this is amazing. This walk around my block, it's amazing, you know? So we're able to really reconnect to the simple things in life that are so precious and so valuable, like oxygen, love, water, the necessities that we have in our daily life, right? We've been so privileged. And it's not that I don't want people to be privileged. I just want people to remember what's really important. So when I think about going back to normal, hopefully, I mean, from an energetic standpoint, we can't. Everything's moving forward. It's never going to go back to the way things were. But I think a lot of people might try. And I say don't try. And Mama Earth says it's okay to come back. Let's keep our A with her. That's it. What are your guys' thoughts? I'd love to hear from you.
Can you guys hear me? Can you comment in the chat? Because I think I froze. Let me wander. I think I froze. Oh, okay. Wait, everything's coming back. Can you guys hear me?
It's all coming back. It's all coming back to me now.
I knew you were gonna do that. I love it. Oh, also, Angela has like the most phenomenal voice ever. So I freaking love everything that you just explain it so eloquently, which I love. Hopefully this service stays. But I wanted to, when you said, I hope it doesn't go back. And from an energetic level, you're right. We will never go back, because once we shift, we can only shift up. We can only shift forward. We can never shift backwards. Once we create a new standard, we can never go back. But I think, everything that you said is so relevant. Just things like, and when you said, I don't want people to be privileged. I just want them to understand like what we have and how amazing it is. And, it's things that, and when I say things like, we create our realities, our thoughts create our thoughts create things. How many times have we said things like, I wish there wasn't so many people here right now, or, oh my God, I hate my job, or, oh my God, I wish I just had like a month off from work, my family. And then now look, like the universe is like, ask and you shall receive. You're getting all of these things. But it's like things like, that I hope we never take for granted anymore. Things like going to a public place and not being able to find a parking spot, or going into the grocery store and being able just to pick up a pack of chicken. Like, how excited are we all going to be just to be able to go to the grocery store on a regular basis and see the shelves like fully stocked? It's just going to be such a beautiful thing. And when we're experiencing times like this, and here's a really good point for all of you entrepreneurs on here, there is infinite abundance in the world. In the universe, there's infinite abundance. And right now, with people experiencing layoffs, entrepreneurs worrying about if people are going to buy, doors closing on businesses, what we might be taking on right now in the physical state is that money is going to run out. Number one, is look in around your house. A perfect point to piggyback off of what Michelle said earlier is, if it's not tangible, or it's not actual money, I feel like I'm not a good manifester. I want you to think about everything that's in your house right now. Do we actually use every single item in our house on a daily basis? No. That, number one, is abundance. We are always provided for, and we have so much more than we could ever possibly need. We are infinitely abundant, right? So our first thing to believing that abundance is infinite is knowing that what we have right now is more than enough, right? But where I'm going with that is the universe, there's infinite abundance, and this is going to be super woo, and this is going to maybe be a little controversial, but I don't believe in things like inflation, because to me, a value of $1 is only a value of $1 because that's what some person said $1 was, right? We could wake up tomorrow and say that $1 is worth $2. We could wake up tomorrow and say that $1 is 50 cents. So when people talk about inflation, that I'm like, oh, they need to do next level magic because energetically that's not real. Because we look at things like a car, right? We have $20,000 to $30,000, most of us, sitting in our driveway right now. We don't look at the car and think that we have $30,000. We just look at that car and think it's a car, right? Because it's not like tangible $30,000. But the universe, God, is the only one that has control over how much abundance is in the universe. And if it's infinite, who are we to decide what that is? So something that I've just been affirming daily is just the abundance affirmation. So whatever you feel called to affirm or to just meditate on or to speak out loud or believe, to continue just to affirm that you're always provided for, because that energy is going to create a more abundant energy, and what we put out is what we get back. So just trusting and knowing that there's infinite abundance in the universe, and what people are experiencing right now in human time is real, but trusting that we're always provided for, and that living in the state of having enough is what creates more than enough. And as Americans in general, like even right now, the fact that we're on a Zoom call, like utilizing technology, like we are rich. Like we are rich. So just things like that, and really just bringing ourselves back to our foundation of holy smokes, we really are so provided for. And just in yes, after this is over, it's okay to still want to be successful and privileged, but just continuing to remember where other people are, where they've come from, how they live their lives on a daily basis. Right? I mean, there's countries like, this is nothing compared to other countries. There's probably other countries that are hearing what we're going through, and they're probably like, this is nothing compared to what we go through on a daily basis, right? So it's like that level of gratitude of like, holy shit, we really have it really, really good. Even in the worst times, we have it really, really good, you know? That's what I have. Martha says, I'm going to have to leave. Thank you all so much. Oh my gosh, Martha, thank you so much for joining us. I did want to go through really quickly. I know there was a comment above and I wanted to touch on it. So Patricia. So Angela, we just had Patricia and Katie that both commented their thorns. And I wanted just to go through those really quick. So Patricia said, her rose is solitude in my home where I have my dog and in a place I always felt I'm meant to be. Thorn, I'm a critical care nurse, knowing I will not be able to help people as I normally would. Similar to being on an airplane, we have to place our mask before helping others. It goes against everything in my core. Wow, Patricia. Well, first of all, where are your face? There you are. There's your face. Thank you for everything that you've been doing and being in the front line of defense on this. Like, I know I speak for probably everyone that we're so grateful for that. This is totally aligned because this morning I had a little mini meltdown. One of my mom's friends' fathers was ill prior to COVID, and he was dying in the hospital. And everything that has changed with the regulations on the hospital, his family wasn't able to be there when he passed. And I had this moment where I was like shook, and I was like, oh my God, like I can't imagine like the fear, like dying with no one there. And I was like, I felt that, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I just can't even imagine. I have a bunch of other friends that are nurses, and just kind of hearing like the regulations and how those have changed and how it's affecting families and things like that. I'm just like, it breaks my heart. And I just think, what you're witnessing right now is something so incredible. And so like, because I'm not like in kind of like, if we can't see it or feel it, it feels like not tangible. So I've kind of been like not experiencing it. But then when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't imagine seeing that every single day. So I think, what you are experiencing is just, it's traumatic. And I think that, because you're used to some level of, this is my job, this is my responsibility, this is my duty, you kind of carry that, like, this is just how I have to show up. But it doesn't make it any less traumatic. And so I think just finding that time on a regular basis to really just be within and kind of look within and see what it's bringing up and what it's allowing you to process is really important.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute, but my phone didn't want to. No, thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's surreal. It's very, very weird. And the other part of it is that, you know, everything that we're trying to do, we're changing on a daily basis. So there's just constant confusion to deal with. So, you know, just trying to take each day as it comes and, you know, really focus when I'm home. Like, it's hard to focus on meditating. Like, that's a struggle because you can't, like, you start to, and then immediately your mind runs off and you're like, oh, wait, hang on, take it back. Like, start all over. So it's really a struggle to actually be able to focus inward and, you know, meditate and really reconnect with myself and let me have those feelings. Because, of course, you want to block them out, and that doesn't help anything.
Thank you. It looks like Angela's going to share, but I think she froze. Angela, did you have anything to add on that?
No, I mean, I know Trish and I have been working together for a long time, and she I know she's sitting here saying, like, I'm struggling, and I know she is. Yogini, and she takes that time for herself, and has really trained herself to take those steps back. And so I just wanted to acknowledge her publicly. We don't, it's like, oh, it's not shifting. It's not shifting the way I want it to, even though you're showing up every day and doing the work. Sometimes we need to be acknowledged for the work we're doing, not just in the, you know, not just in the work that you're doing in the hospital, but in the way that you show up for yourself. I think is important that you're acknowledged, because I think you're doing an amazing job in both aspects. So yeah, just keep doing it.
I 100% agree. We had, Katie said, my beautiful twin babies are my rose in my doula business. Being overwhelmed with all my children and not having time for personal space. So I know. Look at those little babes. Just, oh my God, they're the cutest. Hello. And happiest little babies first, like in the morning too. Hello, how are you? Hi. I think, Katie, for you, just, you're great about waking up early and doing your morning routine. And I would just say, you know, continuing just to stay grounded in that routine. And I know it can be so hard. I know I started getting back into my morning routine because, you know, now that we're the sitter, I'm like, well, I have to wake up early to capitalize on the morning. And she'll wake up with me. So I've kind of just been incorporating her with my morning routine, where it's like, okay, oh, read this book with mommy, or here, you know, sit next to mommy while mommy does her book. And so Reagan will get a book and I'll read a book, type of thing. And it's kind of like that lesson that needs to be learned, right? It's I think a huge lesson in me is learning how to embrace my motherhood, because I think for so long, I had this belief that I couldn't run both businesses and have my child full time. But I think, you know, our thoughts create our reality. And if I just choose to believe that I have more than enough time, that I can still be an amazing mom and get everything done that needs to get done in both of my businesses, that's what I create. And it's amazing because it's I feel like I've lived on vacation for pretty much this entire time, because the amount of work that I've been able to get in 2 hours every single day is what feels like would take me 8 hours to do when she was at the sitter. So it's you know, asking you shall receive, you know, God, angels, universe, please teach me what needs to be learned. Please guide me in whatever road I need to be led down. And then it's all of a sudden things just get easier. So I think always asking for guidance too. And I know you're really strong in your faith, but just when things feel really chaotic, or you feel everything is out of place, or you are having that hard time being within yourself, just asking for guidance and just to be shown whatever it is that you need to be shown, and allow yourself to embrace that moment. Yesterday I had a little magical moment. So Angela, I don't know if I told you this, but a lot of my ladies know. So my angel numbers are 143, and one of my symbols is a Range Rover. And yesterday I was walking Reagan around the block for the 100th time, and she wouldn't nap. And usually when she naps is when I get work done. She finally fell asleep, but she fell asleep for 5 minutes, and I had to take her back around. And as I was walking her, I was just thinking, I was I literally was affirming, I'm as I like being the best mom I can be right now allows me to be a thriving entrepreneur. I was literally thinking that as I was walking her. As I turned the corner, my mom's neighbor, who lives in like another state, but I guess was like arriving back home yesterday. She drove out of state, pulls down the street in a black Range Rover, and the license plate was A13. Now I know it wasn't 413, but a capital A looks an awful lot like a 4. So it was A13 and it was a black Range Rover. And I was like, how weird is it that it was like almost my angel number and a black Range Rover, as I was affirming being a present mom during these times allows me to be a thriving entrepreneur. Like I was just like, boom, okay, universe, got it. So just, whenever you have those moments of fear or panic or like, this is chaos, I can't get anything done, I just wish I had some time alone, asking just for guidance in whatever that is for you. Let's see some other comments. 2 new messages. Okay. Martha, okay, so yes, so grateful for your nursing skills. Yes, Katie, absolutely. Patricia, I 100% agree. And then Kristen says, one of my symbols is a yellow bird, and I saw one yesterday, and it made my day. Oh, I love it. That would actually be a fun way to close this. So before I guess we close it, does anyone have anything that they want to open up for discussion or say or share? Because I think a fun way to close would be if everyone tells us what their symbol is, if they have one. And if they don't have one, we can help you find one. Okay.
Give me 1 second, Jess. I'm going to let you guys share, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to see that. But you were talking about, let's share our animal spirit or whatever. I was going to do a quick little card reading for you guys with my goddess cards, but I actually have animal totem cards, and I'm going to grab those instead. So share in the comments what your animal spirit is, and I'll be right back with my cards.
Oh, okay. So Kelly, how did everyone find their symbols? Okay, so everyone's commenting and sharing. I'll explain this. Okay, so Kelly, a symbol. Now this is kind of hard. This is kind of hard to explain in like not if you're not like into super woo, kind of making it like practical. Okay, so I'll just go in. So a symbol is like. You know how like when people say like if you see a cardinal, it's your loved one coming back to like say hello to you. So a symbol is something that you see over and over again, and it could be something that you pick. So it could be something like for me, when I first started doing this work, one of my symbols was an elephant, because I love elephants, and every time I see an elephant, it like makes me happy, and it was like reminded me of my daughter because my daughter's name is Elephants. And so then I'll like whenever I'd have a bad day, then all of a sudden I would start to see like I would see like a truck that had like an elephant on it, and I'd be like, okay, that's weird, but it would like in that moment it would bring me back to like a joyful feeling. So it could be an or like as you're working on elevating your frequency or stepping into a new phase of life, a lot of people will see like repeating numbers. So like you'll start to maybe see like 111 a lot on your phone. Some people will see things like their birthday on their phone. Like my birthday is March 24th, so that's 324.
Okay.
For like 2 years, I've seen like 324 on my phone every time I look at it. So it's kind of like what is repeatedly being shown to you. So you could pick. Yeah. And then then when you pick a symbol and then you live into that energy, you raise your vibration, and then all of a sudden your raised vibration starts to create other symbols that appear to you.
Can I want to interject on that. Everything that you say, yes. When finding basically like what's showing up for you, but also so like specifically with animal spirits, I do a lot of work with animal spirits and have for a very long time. Your signs, your totems, they can change. So a good way to know if like an animal spirit is calling to you is if you see a particular animal and it imprints on you, like something about that moment when you interacted or saw that animal, it has a feeling over you, it made an imprint on you. That's when you know you should look it up. So with animal spirits particular, Jess knows a lot more about angel numbers than I do, but with animal spirits, so say I saw a hawk and I was just like, oh my God, this just that hawk touched my heart. Go Google hawk totem and find out what that hawk message has to say, because more than likely it's going to tell you exactly what it is that you need to hear and in alignment with your challenges or whatever guidance that you need. And then you'll start to notice if they show up. those can change depending on where you are in your life. So if you have a hawk totem, which I've had a hawk totem many times in my life, it's not one of my totems right now. It's not even where I live. So I'm not going to see a hawk here. But if there's any other kind of animal or something that shows up and it makes that imprint, then I need to make sure to check in and see what that message is. So that's why I got these little animal totem cards here for you guys today. I haven't used these in a really long time. They've been around the world with me. I actually passed them down to my son, and he plays with them now. But it's perfect for today's conversation. So I'm going to draw an animal card for each of you right now. I'm going to go in order. So Michelle, this is you. I want you to think about somewhere you need guidance, just energetically in your mind. Hold that up and put your hand up when you want me to stop shuffling. Okay, you got 2, so I'm just going to, no, you got 3. You got some messages, girl. All right. Oh God, there's 4. Wow, girl, you got some powerful energy. Okay. You got the moose, the butterfly, the sloth, and the eagle.
I saw an eagle yesterday.
With self-reliance and measured patience, your adversity is going to be overcome. Create your vision, but consider the smallness of your needs and treasure what you possess. Delight in life right now and embrace change as the source of your creativity. Okay. All right.
So crazy, because I told Jess that when I was meditating, I'm like, an eagle flashed in twice in my
There you go.
And so it's so crazy that it came up again.
Yeah.
I mean, along with the other 3 cards, but I love the whole freaking message. So
nice.
I want the recording so I can rewrite it down, because you kind of went through it fast, but.
Yes.
Magic. And I'm going to upload it to Google Drive so Angela and I can both email it out.
Perfect. I have to keep going to my charger because this Zoom is killing my phone, and I have to do my stuff outside. So sorry about that. I keep going in and out, in and out.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. Katie, think of where you need guidance. Put your hand up. Okay. You got the bat. You have the power to transcend failure and move into a limitless future.
Oh my God, the alignment is unreal. Katie and I, when we had our call, we talked about how past failure does not predict like future outcomes. And like you even said on this call, I'd done the coach thing over and over again. I hadn't seen success, and now I've had like a super successful month. How aligned is that?
That's awesome. And she said there's a Batman on your shirt. Patricia just said there's a Batman on your shirt. On your son's shirt.
I sent a message today. When
so Katie,
the grocery store, we saw
Katie, look up the bat as an animal spirit guide, okay? All right. Who's next? Kristen. All right, love. Think of where you need guidance. And tell me when to stop by putting your hand up. Love this one. You got the hummingbird. Turn away from infidelity so that love may blossom. This doesn't necessarily mean infidelity in like a sexual relationship. It could come in a different form in your life. So seeing where, turn away from infidelity so that your love may blossom. So there might be some area that is challenging you when you're trying to move forward into something that is trying to blossom, something that's trying to come through in your creation, whatever that is. Look and see where that block, that infidelity is, and that's trying to stop it, and turn away from it. I don't know. Does it call to you or no?
Hello?
Yeah.
Kristen.
Huh?
Kristen commented earlier that one of my symbols is a yellow bird, and I saw one yesterday.
Hummingbirds, this is the message of the card, but if you look up hummingbirds are often referred as spirit guides, somebody that may have passed coming through as a hummingbird for a message. Hummingbirds also remind you to embrace the nectar of life, embrace the sweetness, the nectar of life, finding beauty everywhere you go. So look up hummingbird. It's a beautiful animal totem. I had that animal totem for many, many years. I even got to hold one because one flew on my hand, like so powerful. So look it up. It's a beautiful animal spirit. Okay, Patricia, here we go. Tell me when to stop. Okay, you got 3. You got the hippo, the water buffalo, and a fox. Friends stand close by to shield you from life's adversities, so making sure that you lean on your friends. Face life head on with courage and reclaim the brave spirit within you. As you approach your challenges, head on, my love, head on. You got it, and all the strength is in you. The fox sharpens your senses, allowing you to observe the actions of others. So being mindful and aware of other people's actions. Foxes are known to be, foxes are known to have a very keen sense, and they're also known to be a little bit sly. So with the fox's message, look out for those types of behaviors around you, okay? All right, Kelly. Hi, Kelly, how are you? It's nice to see your face. I didn't see your face earlier. All right, hold up where you need guidance and tell me when to stop with your hand. All right. Okay, you got the mountain goat and the bison. Fighting for love or ardent declarations may hide unfaithfulness. This card sometimes, it's not only to look, it's to look outside of yourself as well as inside of yourself. So noticing where you or someone else might be really fighting for a particular outcome, and observe and realize, are those declarations coming from an authentic place, or are they covering something up? So you can look for that within yourself, or even if it's might be somebody around you, okay? Bison, recognize the riches of the past and the abundance of the present. So if you are mourning anything right now, a way of life or something in your life, something like that, recognize the riches that you had, but really let yourself revel in the abundance of this moment right now. Okay? All right. Anybody else on here? Is that everybody?
Is everyone?
All right, Jess.
You want to flip one for you and one for me?
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, I just froze. Okay, let me just
Okay, Jess. Hold up where you need. Is that you telling me to stop?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. You got the seal. Hard work and inspiration are the foundation of true creativity. So hard work and inspiration are the foundation of true creativity. So it's really important not only that you work hard. I don't know if I like the word, I don't like that term, work hard, but
yeah.
Diligently. We'll say diligently. But really start pulling from your inspirations right now. So where you're feeling inspired, put it down, because that's where a lot of your creativity is going to come from, and all that. So, and then I'll do mine.
Yours.
Here we go. I usually wait for one to just jump out. There it is. I got the kangaroo. As events take place in their own momentum, you take a true leap forward. I'm going to sit with that one. So anyway, I hope that this card reading was helpful for you guys, or in the least fun.
So much fun. Oh my gosh. I hope that, I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like my day is just off to like such a better start now. And I'm just so grateful that I have the ability to connect with so many of you today.
Me too. So nice to meet all of you guys and your sweet little babies. Katie, oh my gosh, they're so cute.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm so glad, Trish. I feel lighter, she says. Yeah, it's good just to come into community. Maybe we should do some more often, you know, and get to know each other even better. I think when we get to know each other better, and there's like that comfort level, that's where a lot of magic happens. You know, that's when sisters go, like, we're already in sisterhood. I can already tell everybody here is like in support of one another. We get each other. We're here. But I guarantee if we were to do this like 1 or 2 more times, you'd see some real magic flourishing. This is real magic too. But do you get where I'm coming from? Just because when you have a little bit more of an intimacy, natural guards will diminish a little bit. Will soften a little bit more. And I'm not saying anybody's guarded. I don't want anything being taken out of context. I hope you guys get where I'm coming from. But I used to host full moon ceremonies every month on the full moon, and that's where what I'm saying is coming from, because I would have a lot of the same women come, and the sharing just got more and more powerful over time, and it just became such a magical place, and that's where I met Jess.
No, I agree. So Angela, I will connect with you obviously, and we'll set more of these up, and we'll, set some different intentions for each one.
Yeah.
I know it's, like Kelly, I haven't seen like your face in probably years. So this was, that was a magical moment for me, but and being Trish and being able to see my other close friends today, it's beautiful. So, I think that, where just choosing to lean in during these times, and just I heard this quote yesterday, is that we tend to think that our spirit is within our physical body, but our physical body is actually in our spirit.
Oh, I love that. Great. That's a great quote.
Spoke to me because I thought, I'm someone who, I'm a big hugger, I'm a huge extrovert, and I will literally hug everyone and their sister, cousins, brothers, uncles, mom, because I love to hug. So I've been really feeling that disconnect, physically from people. When I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true, because, no matter where we are, we're all connected. And so this, really made my day just perfect.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for letting me share with you, just from my heart. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. We will get this uploaded, and I'll put it in my group and send it to Angela, and we'll get this up for you guys. We love you all, and I'm sending all of my virtual hugs to everyone.
From Italy. Ciao. Ciao.